Hey, all of you, it is Nina Garcia here. Yes, the host of Triggered Can We Play With That? And also the host of Empowered Human with Nina Garcia. We are rebranding. That is what this entire episode is going to be about. But of course, it's not just going to be about me and telling you and talking to you about the story. What I'm really hoping that we will get to right now is me being able to share why we've decided to move from triggered to empowered human. And also another reason why you're going to want to listen in is because I'm inviting you to also focus on why you could be moving from triggered to empowered human in your own life. So without further ado, there's not going to be any bells and whistles to the show, except what I normally throw in there, or whatever, may happen. You just ride along with me. So I was an individual who felt constantly triggered and also felt that people were constantly triggered by me, just my existence. I didn't even have to do anything. And while that has become a bigger narrative, and we will talk about that more in Empowered Human, what I noticed with Triggered is there were so many of you who felt so seen, so heard in the podcast. And I really felt like I got to build my community of people who were not afraid to lean into that uncomfortable territory, who genuinely felt like they were wanting to practice being courageous and leaning into their edge because they knew that it would be worth it. As a trauma therapist, one of the things that we say all the time, and as a person who has moved through my own trauma, right, what we say all the time is the only way out is through. And so with Triggered, Can We Play With That? I really got to invite, conversations and moments, real human to human moments in which we were able to transform hard conversations into teachable moments. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. 3 years later, right? Fast forward 3 years later, I've got so many interviews on the podcast. I've got my own personal stories on the podcast. And it was a huge way for me to share material that I've processed, not something that I was still necessarily like, I don't know how I feel about this, right? But things that I process, and then I could share my process with you. So I want that to continue, that growth-oriented, courageous, share our processes, have those human to human moments where we transform hard conversations into teachable moments. I want all of that to stay. But here's why the shift. One of the things that I noticed with our community is that there was a focus on the trigger, which I wanted. And when you listen to the full episode, it's designed to move you through the challenging space and then give you the tools so you can apply it in your own life. And what I noticed is that I had a lot of people who were listening in. They felt the feelings, they felt the passion, but they were struggling to apply it to their own life because they were staying stuck on the trigger and the idea of how do I play with that? I don't want you to be stuck wondering how you can play with something. And so I've decided, right, that we're going to move into this empowered human podcast territory because what I really want to invite is that we begin to not just explore the triggers, but commit to moving through. I want us to empower ourselves to start moving through, owning our stories without putting ourselves down, without putting other people down, really still owning our stories so that we have the power to move forward, right? And so, yes, I want us to focus on healing as we move into this new space. I want us to focus on empowerment as we move into this new space. And here's the thing. A lot of people speak about empowerment, and when they're talking about empowerment, it's more like get it, like get your self-empowerment on, or yes, we've got, fill-in group here, empowerment. Those are beautiful things. I love self-empowerment. I love group empowerment, and I want more. When we talk about empowerment, capital E, in the empowered human world, which I am officially inviting you all into, right? I want you to transition with me from triggered to empowered human. And I digress in this, but I want you to come with me because when we talk about empowerment with a capital E, we're not just thinking about just an individual or one group, right? A singular group. We're saying, yes, I want to prioritize your individuality, and I don't want you to stop at the self. I want you to also think about how it affects others. And in fact, I want you to go as far as to think about the world at large. I want your life to be transformed when you start thinking about how you can pick up in your own life and, yes, empower yourself to speak your truth, to own your truth, not just with yourself, but everywhere you go. I want that for you. It is something that I practice in my own life. I practice an empowered human lifestyle, right? I practice an empowerment lifestyle. And we have sustained, distilled, right? And sustained a framework and a practice privately with clients. We have brought it into Empowered Human Lives, where I share a few little tidbits here and there. And this upcoming September will be the relaunch of a program that we had last year to help people, right, own their individual culture. That's what it was called, the Own Your Individual Culture quest last year. You matter, and how you show up in this world matters. But if we don't know how to move beyond the triggers, how to heal ourselves, how do you get to show up? How do you even really get to understand what your own truth is? So this is why the transition Empowered Human, when you move forward listening into Empowered Human, as I certainly hope that you do, what I want you to be able to take away is the invitation to exist as you are, to courageously exist as you are with your multifaceted identity self, with your humanity. And if you're feeling uncomfortable about parts of how you exist in this world, let's explore it together. I don't want you to stop there, right? I don't want you to just courageously exist within yourself. I want you to do it again with others and with the world at large. And it's not just about courageous existence. I want you to move forward. I want you to heal. I mean, honestly, I stopped myself from saying this right now, but I'm going to say it now. I need you to heal. I need the healing. Our communities need the healing. We've got laws coming out because people are not healed and they're not courageously existing. They are moving with fear. There is a way to move through that, to really courageously owning your truth without oppressing yourself, without oppressing others. It does involve healing. If we're not healing and we have things that need to be healed, we might be harming. So yes, courageously existing, healing, these are two really big parts of the Empowered Human podcast and process. But there is a third part, and it is belonging, choosing belonging over rejecting. Now, I don't mean you got to be friends with everybody and their mother if you're not, right? Right? It's not about being a carbon copy. It's about really acknowledging the moments in which you might be showing up in a powered and oppressive way that's not serving you. And it's not serving the people around you, and it may not be serving the world at large. I want us to begin to not just call out these spaces, but I want us to call ourselves into these spaces. I want to call you in. I want to call myself in. I want to call other people in, and I want to call the world at large in. You have been summoned. This is an invitation, and I am inviting you to transition, not just from triggered to empowered, but to empowered human. Capital E empowerment, in which you own your truth without oppressing yourself and without oppressing other people. But, oh, child, do you own your truth? Please, that is my wish as we move into the Empowered Human podcast. Now, y'all know I like to play with things. I don't want that to go away. I want us to be able to still ask, can we play with that? Because if you can't play with that, that's okay. But I am inviting you. I'm inviting you into not just courageous territory, but into healing territory and into truly belonging, and not belonging in the way that everybody wants you to belong, but truly belonging to you. If you are down with this, if this sounds intriguing, if this interests you, if this fires you up to live your life even more empowered than you may be, then by all means, you are invited to continue to listen into this podcast. We will be officially launching it as Empowered Human with Nina Garcia on August 2nd, 2023. Okay. We'll be officially launching it then. It's going to start off with a bang. I can already tell you it's the empowerment spectrum, all 5 power dynamics. We're going to hit that in the first episode. Oh, bring your journals, y'all. It's going to be good. It's juicy. The empowerment spectrum is so juicy. It's going to teach you how to see your world in a totally different way. Okay. That's the first one. The next 3 weeks after that, I'm going to explain to you what is courageous existence. What is it to say, I'm going to heal my humanity? I'm going to heal my individuality. I'm going to heal from invalidation. Yes, that will be the next week after that. And then finally, truly belonging to you. What does that mean, right? That's what we're going to be exploring in August, starting August 2nd. Subscribe now for notifications so you do not miss that. Follow me on Instagram at Drama Therapist Nina if you love you some visual material. And last but certainly not least, share this if you know somebody needs to hear it. Share this if you know that this is going to be up somebody's alley as we move toward a more empowered world and begin to disrupt the powered and oppressive dynamics that we are all privy to, that we're all living within in this moment. Yes. Empowered human in a nutshell, transforming yourself from powered to empowered. Empowered human in a nutshell, transitioning from powered and oppressive dynamics to empowered and liberatory dynamics. So that's what I got for you today, folks. No fanfare. Subscribe for notifications. Share if you know somebody needs to hear this. And if you're like, Nina, empowerment, I want to know more, I'm going to throw the quiz into the show notes for you. Go take the empowerment spectrum quiz. Just see where you land. Yes, just see where you land. We've got tons of empowered human lives coming up. Those will be on Wednesday. I mean, it's all in the show notes, y'all. I don't want to overburden it with you here. You can take the quiz. You can sign up for the Empowered Human Live. That's a live group where we get together on Wednesdays. You can do that. Subscribe. And otherwise, on August 2nd, I will see you for Empowered Human with Nina Garcia. Thank you so much for listening. I'll hear you or see you, all of it soon. Stay curious.